Hey y'all, welcome to the That's Unique podcast, a safe place to embrace individuality, a place where we can keep it all the way real, answer emails, DMs, tweets, whatever. I'm your girl Unique. Let's get started. Hey. So today we are going to talk about the continuation of last week's episode. This week we're talking about episode 11 of the NBC show, The Courtship. Let's talk about that episode. A lot went down. A lot of us are cheering. We're happy. Hooray, hooray. Because Lincoln is gone. Let me give you a quick rundown if you don't know what we're talking about. We're watching the first season of this new dating show, and it takes place in the Regency era. Well, acts like it's taking place in the Regency era, so they dress, walk, and talk like they're living in the Regency era, but they're in 2022, of course. Okay, so continuing from last week, we're just going to come back into the episode. So this week, the episode starts with Miss Nicole Remy happy, cheesing from ear to ear, just glowing. Her family notices, her friends notice. How could you not? She is just glowing. She's so happy. So she comes to sit down with her family and she says that she's just happy. She feels like she's in a good place. And then in her testimonial, she's saying her and Lincoln have connected. They've made everything better. It's official. It all makes sense to her now. She's feeling like maybe she can change him and they can just be in love and run off into the sunset together. This is her in her testimonial. Now let's take it back. Lincoln is still not in love with this girl. Like, we're just gonna put it out there. So we're watching her say these things and is still like, girl, please stop. Please stop. So the guys now, they're actually all very confused. So they're all sitting around at the table and they all know that Lincoln had a second overnight. Not one, but two. This is the second one. So they're stressed. Like, they know that Lincoln is the least serious, doesn't give a damn about this show at all. But he's now getting a second overnight and no one else has had an overnight with Miss Remy. So they're just talking at the table. Danny says he doesn't want to be a second choice, which is so understandable. Who wants to be a second choice? Okay, everyone understands this is a dating show, but when you are favoring this one dude like a lot, it's a little, confusing. Jesse says he was under the impression he and Nicole were developing something, which we were all. We're like, oh, Jesse, rooting for you. All right, so the Daily Tea comes out. And the Daily Tea pretty much says that they're going to be having an open air country feast. So that's pretty much catching dinner and cooking it. So they're each going to pair up with Miss Nicole Remy and gather something that will go towards dinner. So Jesse is up first. Nicole has fun with Jesse. On their date, they were herding and getting the ducks into the pen to get out of the way for the picnic table so they could set the dinner up on. And she likes Jesse and just wants him to have more fun with her, which is understandable. Okay, he's a serious guy, but in this particular moment on this date, he was having fun. He was letting his hair down. It looked good. She was enjoying herself as well. All right, so then of course the next date. Oh Lord. Mr. Lincoln Chapman is the next date and they are collecting honeycomb. So they're beekeeping essentially. She's freaking out. I would be freaking out too. He says it's his first time doing it. They read a piece of paper and then they went into doing this. I hope nobody got stung because there were so many bees. So many bees. After the date with Nicole, Lincoln goes to speak with Mama Remy. Okay, so finally, he's going to be talking to one of the parents. So he goes to see Mama Remy, and Chapman says, before the castle, the longest he stayed in one place in the last 2 years was 10 days. Also says during lockdown, because many things were closed, he had to take bird baths and find streams to take baths. All right. Personally, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, it was COVID. I know you live in your van and you chill in your van or whatever. But sir, you don't have any friends or family members like we're looking for streams to bathe in? Maybe it's because I'm a woman, but that is so grubby. Like, that's so gross to me. That is so gross. I could not go find a stream in North America and call that, hey, I just cleaned myself. That sounds so gross. So gross. But anyway, moving on. That's just me. But that's very telling of your character, sir. So you couldn't go anywhere? Nowhere at all? Oh, Lord. Also, that had me feeling like maybe the reason he's on the show or applied for the show, because clearly he doesn't want to commit, is that he wanted somewhere to stay, because it's still during a pandemic when he's applying for the show. So he could be looking for shelter, food, and possibly meet a girl in the process. Like, that was just a byproduct of the things he wanted, which were food and shelter and clean clothes. So I'm thinking that's more likely the case than, oh, I'm trying to find my life partner. Anyway, that's just me. I digress. Going back to Mama Remy. Finally, she asked the direct question. She asked if he would be able to make some kind of commitment at some point. Lincoln says he doesn't know. Let's remember he's talking to Nicole's mama. He said, Mama, I don't know. So what does that tell you? She's going to go tell Dad. He said he doesn't know. Which means, why are you here, sir? She's looking for a husband. Why are you here? So in the testimonial on the side, Dad says it's not going to work. It is not going to work. They don't like it. They basically don't like it. Anyway, the next date is Mr. Combs. They are milking goats. He says he feels like Nicole is so wrapped up in Lincoln, he doesn't feel good about his chances, which is understandable. They don't really have that spark, I think. Like, they have fun together and it's a fun time, but they're more on the friend side than on the you're cute, I want to be with you side. So they're more friendly than relationship side. All right, so the next date is Danny. Nicole says she feels like a dark cloud is over his head and she wants to know what's up. Danny is reluctant to tell her. Danny doesn't want to tell her what his problem is, but we all know what Danny's problem is. I think he had a problem on the first overnight as well. He doesn't want nobody touching his things. Like, he found out she went on that first overnight, which was kind of supposed to be a secret. Don't know why, but Lincoln came in and told everybody anyway, kind of like in a show-off manner. And now this time there's too little guys for you to even hide the fact that you were missing all night. So they already knew he had an overnight with her. She said she wants Danny to give his heart to her. And I'm like, girl, like, how can you ask him to give his heart to you? But I do understand, again, this is a dating show and everyone should understand what they're here for, because you're here to fall in love. So, okay, I get it. Like, I'm 50-50 on that. I'm like, ugh, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, that's not even the craziest thing. Danny says there's guys in the house that want something serious with you. And the thing with Lincoln, that doesn't match what you say you want. Nicole says that he keeps saying he likes her, but you are now down to the final four. So she's pretty much asking for more. Like, at this point, she doesn't care if he likes her or not. He needs to say more to get her attention. Then this girl, this wild girl, like, I was like, this is so left field for me. Anyway, she says she's been in love with him, and she has been for a while. She's looking him dead in his eye. Like, I've been in love with you for a while. Like, dead in his eye. This guy's looking back at her like, I know he's thinking to himself, like, this is crazy. Like, you literally
were just in bed with someone else last night. Because I was even thinking to myself, like, girl, that came out your mouth? That's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. But, you know, that's what she did. And then he definitely didn't know what to say. So she walks away in tears because she started tearing up after she told him she's been in love with him for a while. And I'm honestly not sure what she expected from him. I don't know what you wanted him to reply to you with, because he's thinking about you and someone else last night, and today you're saying you've been in love with him. It's a little weird. Anyway, after that, Danny has to go meet up with Remy's sister, and he pretty much says he's at his breaking point. The next scene was everyone back in the parlor, the family and Nicole's best friend, and Mama Remy says Lincoln's not ready to give up his van life. Dad says he wouldn't approve because Lincoln is not stable. And then Nicole in her testimonial says she wouldn't be able to marry someone her parents don't approve of. And she also feels like they were on board with Lincoln, but now they're not on board with Lincoln. And I'm confused as to why she's confused. More and more information just keeps coming and showing up, and they're getting smarter, as you should. You should be getting smarter and understanding that, hey, he needs to get pushed far to the left because he's not serious about nothing. He should have been kicked off this dang show from time. Anyway, here comes the a-hole. He's sitting in another parlor with the boys now. It's just them, and they're sitting there. And I think one person was missing. Mr. Judge. Mr. Judge was missing at the moment when they had their little powwow. And Lincoln says, let me get this right. Lincoln says it would take the feeling of being in love, falling in love, to settle down. And he knows now he can't fall in love with Nicole. He says this to the other guys who are literally sitting here fighting for this woman's heart. Why are you still here? Why are you still here? You're wasting everyone's time. People are fed up. They are fed up with Lincoln and his foolishness, okay? And then, in only his special douchey fashion, in only his special douche-like fashion, could this guy say something else on TV that would make this situation look effed up. He says, and I quote, it's gonna look like post-nut clarity. He just said this on TV. Like, he couldn't be more sensitive. He couldn't be more caring about this girl's feelings. Like, she's on here looking for a husband, and he had to say that. Like, just because he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anyone except himself. He does not care. Literally, she's going to watch this back and see you say that. She's going to really regret the decision she made on this damn show. Oh my gosh. Okay. After the boys all talked, Combs takes it upon himself to go to the side and write Nicole an anonymous letter. And let her know everything about Lincoln, that he's been BSing, he doesn't love you, la 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 la. All that jazz. So they finally get to have their dinner. They're all sitting at the table in the dining room, and the server comes up with the letter on one of those silver platters. Nicole takes it. She is smiling like, thank you. Takes it. As soon as this girl opened it, her face slowly drops. And then she gets up from the table, and then her sister and her best friend rush over to her because now she's hella emotional. Mom seems to know what's going on because, you know, mom's got that sixth sense. She knows what's happening with her baby, and she's not liking it. No one's feeling it. Nicole's sister comes back to the table, says, hey parents, can you leave? You know, it's a nice day outside. Can you go for a walk for a bit? Because we need to talk to these guys. So anyway, now Nicole comes back and she looks directly at the guys and she starts reading out the letter. And then Nicole asks Lincoln directly if it's true. Is this letter true? And he says yes, but he wouldn't have said it like that. boy, first off, you hadn't had that much tact when it came to speaking to her or about her outside of now. Like, you talking to the cameras like she's never gonna see the show. Yes, to her, you were bullshitting, but the truth was gonna come out eventually. Lincoln tells her he stayed because he wanted to try, and he did feel something at the time. So he tries to play it like he wasn't lying. I don't know. I do not know, because his behind should have left the first time he said there's nothing. There's nothing. He knew there was nothing. So why are you still bothering her? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Nicole says she sent someone home who really cared about her. I'm personally not sure exactly who she's talking about, who she sent home that she knew really cared about her, but there were better suitors that she did replace him with. So then this guy has the audacity to say, I wish you could have kept that person instead of me. Like, why would you even say that? She couldn't keep him because you stayed. You stayed, and you told her you were falling in love with her. Like, come on, bro. He goes on to talk more crap. Then he asked her if he can give her a hug when she said she was done and she just had nothing else to say. She was over it. And they stood up. He's like, can I have a hug? And she was like, you need to go. That was like, this was the best part of everything. It was like, boom, finally she gets it. He a a-hole, not worth a damn thing. Like, he's been playing with you this whole time. She finally put her foot down. The dance card comes up and no one goes home. I'm happy no one went home, because she needs to now actually spend more time with the three remaining guys, because they have not got the time they deserved because she was spending so much time on Lincoln. So I'm happy she's gonna get some time to spend with those guys. The dance card dance with Jesse and Nicole was so cute. They are so cute together, and I hope he does really learn how to lighten up a little bit. Like, certain scenarios do not require you to be so serious, but he is giving stand-up guy vibes, stand-up father vibes, amazing husband vibes. Now he just needs a little fun. And when they were collecting the ducks and whatever, he showed that he can be fun and he has a fun side. So she just needs to see it more. And then, boom, he's got it in the bag. We got Nicole and Jesse. Honestly, he's my favorite. He's my top pick. The other two, I don't really know. I don't know. But Nicole tells Danny he still gives her butterflies. So Nicole's still feeling Danny. Combs admits he wrote the letter, and Nicole was okay with that, because she was like, you were trying to save me from myself kind of thing. Like, you just wanted the best for me. So I'm happy that all went well. All right, y'all. Let me know your comments on this topic this week below, or IG, or wherever. Send it to me wherever below if you're watching this on YouTube. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna get more topics and more things going, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.